over your neck. It's just easier if you're not going to trip on it. Really cool stuff in the visitor center. A lot of historical photos. I'm just talking about the what's it called? The canopy of trees, guys, that are here in the summertime. They have pictures in there from the Industrial Revolution of like, what really pioneered this area is the coal mines, and it's pretty. So as we can see through these trees and see the gorge, imagine that with absolutely no trees. That's what it looked like. I mean, and that's pretty much America, guys. Like all your little towns we came, they're like, they're not the original trees that were here. It's just like most trees you look at. That guy is probably 75 years old. You can tell the age of trees by the size of them. 75 isn't a long time, Just watching a film, oak trees here on the East Coast are supposed to go through like 1,000 years. In northern West Virginia, there's pictures of up in Tucker County where like the big ski areas are the white oaks, which were 1,000 years old. Got the sun out, sort of aesthetically looking warm. Not really good. Nice. I did it for almost Monday a week ago. It was like 14 degrees and like 8 inches of snow. So they're good. Yeah. Did lots of yard work. Inside.
Yeah. I've had plenty. You can, as much as you want.
We'll go over the overlook first before we head down over the trail. Pretty, not a busy day out here today on the bridge. Group today, but with the wind, if you guys have a hard time hearing me, just say, when we stop, I stop a lot in the walk and talk about stuff. But anytime you guys have questions or anything concerning you, just everyone, you guys can talk about it. We can all, we're gonna take this path over here and just watch your step with the fresh rain. Some of the rocks can be loose, can be a little muddy and slippery, and it's a little steep. So we're all taking our time. smaller trips too. I also like point out more detail and little things. But check this out as we're walking. So all the rock in the Newberg Gorge, guys, it's all sandstone, which makes it phenomenal rock climbing. And there's also from millions of years ago why there's so much coal, the organic content, but it's also in layers of there's a fossil right there of a tree. And then the red stuff you see along it, that's iron ore. Pretty cool. But there's lots of fossils in the gorge and the rocks and stuff. Right on. Well, welcome everybody. It's pretty cool as we're walking. Hey, look out this perspective as you walk onto this little piece here. It's cool to see the different angles of the bridge. Do you want to go first? Sure. Yeah. I'll have you stand. Didn't have a whole lot of time to take it inside. Oh, there's so many cool spots in the gorge.
There's an RFID.
Where's that? What's that? I know what that is. What's that? It's a good question. I have no clue. Maybe there's a chip in it? Definitely? Huh. I guess for avalanche? These are designed in Europe. The technology really comes from zip lines, but I'm sure situations avalanche, you lose somebody, you can find them. I was just talking to a friend actually who was telling me a story that his neighbor's dog ran away just recently, and that his neighbor used hired a guy with a drone that had what's it called, infrared, and this dog was freaking. He lives way out in the collar anyway. And then, Mike, you're just gonna go to that red carabiner once you get on this, and keep it upright. The roll is better. Hold that right there. So Mike, when you're gonna walk, bring it up to me. So when you come around, watch out for this piece.
Okay.
Just stop at that first tower.
Okay.
And you're all set.
Have you done this before?
No, it's my first time here.
everybody good? Here we go. Stop a lot during the way. We talk about, I'll show you different views, or talk about those views you see at different vantage points. But our first one here, if you look off on this side, you see in the rock, those are drill marks where they dynamited the gorge away to make this first tower. And that tower, that's over our head if we were standing down there, to show you sort of scale. So that's like 15 feet. But then that tower also goes for about 30 feet underground of concrete for the footer. When they were built, this bridge is comprised actually equal amount of concrete to steel, which is like, repeat, that doesn't seem proportionally right. And it's because when they're pouring some of these footers, or I think a lot of them actually, they hit the old mines. So like I told you, there's, the Industrial Revolution, there's mines were everywhere. If you've seen some of the old black and white coal pictures. So yeah, once you hit a mine, it just, the concrete dissipated, and that's what happened. But like I said, yeah, the rock here is all sandstone, and I'll talk about, the next stop, we'll talk about the rock climbing in the gorge. Everybody feel good? Everyone good? All right. Gorge if you're traveling to basically just the other side. And today you can still drive that road, and it's pretty much starts almost in our parking lot, and you'll be happy to know it's a one-way road. But as you're driving it, imagine that being a two-way road back in the day. Probably some trucks too, there's the little bridge down there, you cross the bridge down there, and you can see that parking lot where those cars are. That's called Fay Station. That's a park service. Pull off there. That's the end of our rafting. So in the summertime, the upstream section is where we do our whitewater rafting, and it's a class 3-4 whitewater section up there. It's really awesome. And then other activities. So on Bridge Day, you're talking about the base jumping, but we also do some other activities. One of them is right here. It's a zip line off this plate right here. We call this a W plate. And back in the base, like when you go in those front doors to the left, you can see some pictures of them setting it up. And we have a little zip line to basically then we're gonna turn around and look directly into the woods. As you look on down on this side, guys, that lower parking lot, there's actually those two cars. I guarantee you there's rock climbers in there. That cliff band right there, that's called the Bridge of Buttress climbing area. And there's probably a little shelter. In winter time, this is actually the sunnier side because we're on the western side. Another thing, you look way off in the distance, that's Hawks Nest State Park down there. And they're actually building a tram to take you down to the river. And then you can see the cliff band. You can see it actually how it continues, this whole band from way over there, guys. Imagine it. That will turn back the other way. And continuing all the way up. And there is world-class rock climbing all the way up this river gorge. There's a national park trailhead up here going to hiking called Fern Creek Beauty Mountain, which is right over there, on top of those pines. And then check out that. There's a hawk. See that bird, guys, down there flying their sides? Two of them. Right where those, three of them. There's that's a hiking trailhead. That's called Long Point. Cool. All right. Let's keep on walking. Cars were driving, and then if you look down, you see these towers, and then you can see the beginning of the arch down below this tower. So if you follow this tower up, you can see this little walkway right here, and that little ladder. Basically, we have that festival in October I was telling you about on Bridge Day. Basically, the month leading up to Bridge Day, we have a bunch of bridge inspectors out here. And that's what this bridge was built for, is for them to get around here and navigate, and they close off one lane and they come out and do the work. And they'll climb down this little ladder right here, and there's a little hatch we've been walking over. And if you look off, they'll climb into that tube right there. There's a little hatch. And then they actually go to the end, and they're actually just a ladder all the way down. And they're basically inspecting every nook and cranny of this bridge. And they do it every year. And then, so this piece is actually completely solid, guys, to the land and to the ground over there. And then the next piece, see the second piece of the bridge right here, where the arch is, there's a rocker plate, and all along the way there's a little rocker plate. So this center piece actually, during the different times of conditions, like today, it's probably contracting. On the hot July days,
it's contracting.
Yeah. But that's pretty cool. It's pretty amazing. So when they designed all this, guys, this wasn't pre-computers. 1979 was completed. It took about 3 years. All the pictures of the guys working on it, and it was pretty much only 50 workers. And what they had, I don't know if you saw the pictures above us, above the road, giant cables, similar, and a big pulley, and they were bringing the beams, and then they set them into place, and pretty amazing. But yeah, as we're walking, there's another cool spot you can never see in the summertime. You guys see that rock spire? It's basically a freestanding column of rock between, it's about 300 feet away. You guys look at that? Cool. we're on the faces. You know, they've tumbled over time. Cool. Everybody doing good?
Good.
Awesome. Keep on going. Like different times of the day, different tours. Like, you really see the spire standing out. The apex, the center, and then you can see the main station road. Those are, it's a pretty steep section of the road right there. And now you can also see the train tracks. The train tracks are both active still, and yeah, sometimes, often, giant coal trains come through, carrying coal, which is still pretty, popular in West Virginia, the Appalachians. Twice a week, though, the Amtrak will come through here, and that route for the Amtrak is going from Chicago to New York, which is pretty cool. I'm actually taking it. I'm originally from New York, and taking it home around Easter. And so upstream, in the national park, there's an old coal mine town that was like the biggest back in the day. It was called Thurman, and it was the hub of industry, of commerce. They're huge hotels. It's actually in one of the hotels. It's recorded in the Guinness Book of World Records, the longest poker game, which lasted 12 years. And yeah, and that's the unmanned train station. And then upstream, right where so this is the New River. The Greenbrier River is upstream, and then that is coming from the mountains up by snowshoe ski areas. And then it goes. That's where the train line goes through the mountains of Virginia, the tunnels. And in the fall, we have a train that comes through with. You want to experience it, seeing the leaves, and those are like the old historic trains of the old days. waterfall. You know, it's a very, very steep creek. And if you drive up, you'll pass it a few times. And then when you come up the other side, there's a little valley. See those houses on the ridge there? You'll drive up that valley. There's like a hairpin turn. You see that rock is like orange on the point there? That's where the road turns up and goes up the valley. And then you pretty much end up in the town of Fayetteville if you drive it. But then when you come up that, you'll also be going along a creek with a really pretty waterfall. Lots of spots to stop and check it out. You come back in the summertime too, you can see that's one of the rafting companies called Adventures on the Gorge. If you're also here, they're having a really fun Halloween or New Year's party. But they do a lot of great activities. The rafting, they have zip lines out there, and really rafting. There's all kinds of rafting. This river's really long, guys. There's, if you're not into the hard stuff, there's mild float trips we do with families. There's sections we do for fishing. It's really flat. It's like the bass fishing in this gorge is really world class. Well, here, you see that little gutter for the rain? The sound of the wind is amazing.
That's crazy.
There's this film, Jimi Hendrix plays in Maui in like 1970. And there's this spot in Maui, you can probably Google it, like windiest spot. Look off here, you guys can see a rocker plate, one of them. It's, we're almost in the middle. It's fine. And then the whole composition of this bridge, guys, is about 1 million volts. And so on Bridge Day, guys, when we come out here, we hang out for a bit, and then we actually walk back because we can't walk any further because the next section, there's another activity. We have a zip or rappel. People are setting up ropes. So we're 850 feet up from the river right now. Those ropes, it takes like 3 people to carry the rope to get here. It was pretty fun. Leading up to Bridge Day this year, I was doing tours leading up to it, seeing them set it all up. Because it's a lot of preparation of all this safety anchor points for these guys to be able to walk out and clip people out. Basically clip people like you guys, just gotta pay some money. You don't need to be skilled. They'll set you up, and it's pretty cool. But so one of the things, so on Bridge Day, imagine this. As we're hanging out here, people are falling out of the sky about every 15 seconds. They'll free fall from anywhere from 3 to 5 seconds till they pull their chute. And then they navigate to land where those cars are down there, that giant sycamore tree. That's Station Beach, where they take out for rafting. And they'll have a big X drop zone for the guys that are really skilled and bragging, who can nail it directly in the center. And then we have jet boats down there that some people land in the water just to be safe, in the river. There's actually a dam upstream too. They'll lower the river so they don't get swept away. And then another activity, if you wanted to come back on Bridge Day and experience some of the raft companies will do raft trips, and they'll stop below the bridge but above that rapid and tie on the shore, pull out some hot soup and food, and you guys can watch the whole thing from the raft, which is an amazing vantage point. Yeah, Bridge Day, it could be weather like this. It could be like, our weather really fluctuates here in the mountains of West Virginia. It could be like 60 and sunny, t-shirt weather, or it could be, in the 30s. Very rarely it happens, or it could be rainy. But it's so another thing we could do. We'll do this briefly because but if you guys want, you guys can sit down on the bridge. I'll show you how to do it. And you sort of hang your feet. You might have seen pictures online. You get a little. So you just hold on to the railing. Now, you want to make sure your thing is like right over your head. And then lower one leg, another leg. You take a selfie. One of the most unique selfies of your feet. Enjoy it. And it's totally optional. Nobody has to do this. Yeah, so the new river is actually the second oldest river in the world. It's a north-flowing river. This river starts down in the mountains of North Carolina, around Boone, and it works its way up. And it's actually one of the bigger tributaries to the Mississippi. This will flow to the Ohio, and to the Mississippi. Shortly, like about 15 miles downstream, is where the coal barges can start navigating. Same thing in the fall when you got this whole canopy of green, and slowly you see a couple trees changing in the canopy. you know, changing a little bit, and then it's just like, it almost looks like a Bob Ross painting. It's pretty amazing to have a canopy of trees for about 700 feet that you can just see in a 360-degree view. Directly from the north.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah. Directly from the north.
Spaceship.
Alright, everyone look over to me. Got you and turned away. Perfect. Alright, gang, when you guys are ready, slowly get up. And take your time and we'll keep on walking. Check your base.
Together.
Oh, that, yeah. Yeah. I just got it. Right, nope. Still messing around. Messing around. There you go. Cool. Zipper up. We're off. It's really cool as we're walking, guys. Look at the arch right here. You can see it like receding. Pretty neat. As we're walking this plank, that's where the rappel stations are. I think that we have 9 spots, and it takes 2 people on each spot to set up the rappel. Where do they go?
What does it cost to repel?
Probably under $200, I bet you. Yeah. You know, I don't know. I'm not that interested. People set it up, love doing, you know, it's such a... different cliff bands on that side. The sun hitting it now. And then you can look on this green downspout. There's a bunch of actually that's peregrine falcon poop. That's on this steel piece right here. We introduced them like 15 years ago to help with our pigeon problem. They did a great job. They wiped them out actually. And then they had no more food, so they moved on to like Baltimore and Philly, bigger cities that have bridges and buildings, a lot more pigeons. So yeah, if you go to the visitor center, they have a little tracking thing on some talk about those chips, you know. You can see pretty amazing. There's like a whale, you know, such an animal with no borders, you know, that pretty much are global. But yeah, I was saying that too. Some reason the pigeons like this side, the south side of the bridge. So as we're walking, guys, you're gonna notice more pigeon poop, and you know, avoid it. That's all. There's actually, that's a person on Long Point right now. You can sort of see the little white on top of that rock outcrop. You guys see that leaf? This went like vertical. That was crazy. Yeah, when you're out at Long Point, looking back, the bridge seems really close, but like looking at it here, the person looks really far. But as you're looking at it on this side of the bridge too, it's really cool to see. It's like a giant finger. It's big, understand why it's called Long Point. You can see in Wolf Creek in this angle right now, really good sized waterfall. That's probably like a 70-foot waterfall. You sort of see it slide in there, cascading down. Do you have a drone?
That's next on the list.
Yeah.
I've got a buddy who does a lot of drone videos. Man, they look just incredible.
Yeah, I love topography. Yeah, just that view, seeing stuff from a different perspective.
Yeah. Yeah, perspective you never would normally get to see.
They're flying through like these canyons, these kayakers, and, like just like you're like basically observing it from the first person. You know?
Yep.
Like, you're like, holy cow. A fraction of the cost compared to like hiring a helicopter pilot, you know.
Oh yeah.
this is the second expansion joint now on the other side, so you can see the end of the arch landing over there. That water you see right by the arch down there, guys, that's actually coming out of an old mine in the ground. And then the other station road on the uphill side. And then, yeah, so you got a good view on the other side of the river. A spot I was telling you about called Fern Creek. That big rock outcropping of the pines, that's called Diamond Point. And then around, you can't see it, but there's upstream of that point is what they call Endless Wall. And it's like originally developed for the rock climbers to get to all the rock climbing faces out there. There's just, I don't even know, like 40 different little cliffs that you can walk right up to. That, you know, the climbers actually set up top ropes. There's little different parts of town you're hiking that path. The ladders for them to get down to the bottom and set up there, you know, start climbing. I'm just taking pictures. Oh. Do that now. I'm gonna take pictures. They're still talking. I'll wait till they're over here. I'll have you just put your back right there. Awesome. And then let's go up to that first tower.
Get on the van.
It's in my wallet, my purse.
In my
How do you like the Insta 360?
I love it. I'm still learning it,
Yeah.
like how to use the keyframes and stuff. But man, it makes the most. You can get the most amazing videos with it. So, I mean, you don't have to point it. You just walk, and then you do your orientation while you're doing your editing. It's so cool. A buddy of mine had one, and you know, I've seen his video. That convinced me 100% to get one.
What else do you use it for?
All right, gang, keep on going. time of year you find different spots. So like, I want to get to that spot. Up that rock. That was like those little two rocks. Those are the size of houses, you know?
Yeah.
Little hiking trail you can see, like pretty much right behind that tower. Going right up there. I don't recommend this one. This one's called the Bridge Trail. It's not very fun. There's way better hiking trails around.
That is weird. No poop at all on the other side.
Yeah, I mean,
I've
heard people observe, they feel it's quieter over here. I don't know, you know, the wind's coming from the west, you know, like, it's more sheltered too, because, you know, we're on the western side, so the wind just flies over the sea, you know, yeah, I don't know.
Could be.
But yeah, it is messy.
I've seen worse.
Yeah, yeah. Right on, gang. We made it. Yeah, there are a couple moments. I was like, ooh. So yeah, when you come on through here, just let your pulley go first in front of you. So it doesn't, and then wait, and the person behind you, wait for that person's clear, because these things are heavy. And then Mike, just go to the end of it. Don't come off the cable.
Okay.
All right? That was really fun, guys.
Damn it, Mike.